many queer films have you watched as a queer person, and have you heard of this one? Welcome back to Popcorn Curriculum, where we discuss films and see what we can implement for our own work. For my queer pick this week, I went for the film Disobedience, which wasn't a film I had heard about before, but I saw that it was with Rachel McAdams, and I really loved her in The Notebook and the other films I watched of her, so I thought it would be a really fun one to see her as a queer person. However, as you can see in my rating, I didn't really love the film. I think there was a lot of poor acting or maybe writing choices, so let's discuss that. First of all, the dialogue was on the nose. A lot was telling more than showing, and that's just something that bothered me. I do think cinematography wise, they used a very consistent type of lens choice. I think they used the 35 millimeters for most of their shots, which is something I really love. I love when films are very consistent cinematography style wise, and that's something I usually gravitate towards myself, very different from the first two films I watched. In that way, I did like the cinematography, but I did not love the color grading at all. Inside it was fine, but outside it was just terrible, and I just wasn't a big fan. And overall, I also just don't really love the cheating trope, so that also threw me off. So that's something I'm definitely not using within my own stories. So what I did learn from this film is don't be too on the nose about your dialogue. Something I'm working on myself. Dialogue is something I struggle with a lot. So getting that reminder in a negative example was something really good. I didn't learn as much from this film as I learned from the other films I watched this week. So I think for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to focus more on films that are more highly rated within the queer community and see if I can learn more from those. And then when I watched all of those, I can still circle back to the lesser known films. So, a lesson learned, and on to the fourth and final film of this week.